Hello and Assalamualaikum to Dr. Saidatul Iziani. Today our group will present to you about smart contract in the book vending machine at educational institution. Before I start the presentation, I will introduce to you my team members. I am Ms. Ratina bin Kamiti Zakiful Mikan. My team member are Muhammad Nakib bin Musman, Abdul Basit bin Mustafa, Alisa Adwin bin Ahmad Hafizat, and lastly, Hanan Nabila bin Mat Nasruddin. Without further ado, I will start the presentation. Firstly, we will look at the purpose of developing smart contract in the book vending machine at educational institution. The purpose of developing smart contract in the book vending machine at educational institution is to resolve the identified issue faced in the traditional book vending machine. The first issue identified that had been resolved by the smart contract is the inventory management. The traditional vending machine have inefficient inventory management. This is because this vending machine frequently manage their inventory by manual procedure. It does not automate the tracking of inventory in the real time. It makes the book unable to be restocked when needed, that lead to stock out or inconsistent product availability. It must cause dissatisfaction for the person in charge with the vending machine due to the manual tracking and restocking, which can be time-consuming and prone to mistake. Thus, in the implementation of smart contract, inventory tracking in real time can be automated. This is because the smart contract may automatically update the inventory count each time the product is purchased, ensuring accurate and the current information on the availability of each product. Besides, it can alert the person in charge in real time when inventory level cross certain threshold. This reduces the likelihood of stock out or delay in restocking the vending machine and guarantee prompt replacement. Another issue identified that had been resolved with the smart contract is involvement of intermediaries. Traditional vending machines are dependent on intermediaries such as payment processor, where it could lead to additional cost, complexity, and potential point of failure. How did this happen? This is because without smart contract, customer used to choose a book from the vending machine and pay with card, cash or credit card. The payment information was given to the payment processor who serve as middleman between the customer and the vending machine operator, where this payment processor will confirm and execute the transaction. Besides, there are additional fees being charged for the services provided by the payment processor, which can affect the overall transaction cost. The payment processor transfers the money into the operator's account as part of settlement, and the operator then compare the settlement to their record. Meanwhile, with smart contract, vending machine now have the other payment possibilities such as cryptocurrency and digital wallet to make payment. A smart contract that conduct the transaction, confirm the payment, update the inventory, and store the information on the blockchain interact directly with the vending machine. Smart contract reduce fee by doing away with the need for middleman like payment processor. This is because the transaction is conducted directly between the customer and the smart contract. Settlement also happen instantly within the smart contract, making the reconciliation easier through the public and auditable blockchain records. Therefore, with smart contract that significantly reduce the transaction fee associated with the payment processing, it gives a positive financial impact on the educational institution as it allows them to allocate resources more efficiently due to this cost reduction. That's all from me. Now I will pass the presentation to Muhammad Nakib. Thank you.
Hi, I am Mohammed Nakib and I'll be explaining about the variables of our smart contract. So the first variable is our owner variable. The owner variable in our vending machine smart contract represents the administrator or owner of the contract. It grants them certain privileges and permission to manage the vending machine's functionality. With the owner variable, we can control access to critical functions such as adding or removing items, adjusting price, or withdrawing funds. The owner plays a crucial role in maintaining the smooth operation of the vending machine. Next is the buyer balance variable. The buyer balance variable tracks the fund that the buyer has available within the smart contract. It ensures that the buyer can only make purchases if they have sufficient funds. When a buyer purchases an item, the item price is deducted from their buyer balance. This variable is also updated when funds are refunded or withdrawn from the vending machine. It provides transparency and accountability for financial interaction between the buyer and the vending machine. The next is seller balance variable. The seller balance variable represents the fund earned by the seller made from the sale through the vending machine. It keeps track of the total earning accumulated over time. When a buyer purchases an item, the price is added to the seller balance. The seller can initiate withdrawal to transfer the accumulated funds to their personal account. The seller balance variable enable financial reporting analysis, providing insights into the vending machine performance and revenue generation. So the fourth variable is the item price variable. The item price variable stores the cost of each item available for purchases in the vending machine. It ensures transparency and clarity for buyers, allowing them to know the price of an item before making a purchase. The item price variable is used to calculate the total cost of transaction and to check if the buyer has sufficient funds. It can be updated, adjusted price based on the market condition or other factors, ensuring flexibility in pricing. So the last variable is item quantity variable. The item quantity variable tracks the availability of each item in the vending machine. It represents the number of units remaining for sale. When a buyer purchases an item, the item quantity is decremented and reflects the sold unit. By checking the item quantity, we prevent overselling and ensure that buyers are aware of the item availability. This variable also helps the owner manage inventory levels, triggering notification when quantities fall below the specified threshold. In conclusion, the owner, the buyer balance, the seller balance, the item price, the item quantity variables are essential components for our vending machine smart contract. They enable access control, financial management, and inventory tracking. Together, this variable provides secure and efficient vending experience, benefiting both the buyers and the sellers. Thank you. I will now pass to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Abdul Basi and I will explain every transaction function in this part. The first one is indicate the simplest open source license agreement. The intent was for the text to be understandable by average user and to avoid from extensive litigation which may arise from other similar free and open source software licenses. By this, it means that this transaction has an official license where any user can use their transactions because it is legal, and second, it is open to everyone. Moving on to the next one, the contract books is defining a new contract called books. However, the next transactions in solidity, it stated that state variables are variables that are permanently stored in the contract storage that represent the state of the contract and can be accessed and modified by the contract's functions. The code is setting the value of the owner variable to the address that deploy the contract. The message sender will present the address of the account that is deploying the contract. Besides, the code is setting the initial balance of the vending machine by assigning at any value. For example, in this transaction, we have been used and set the value at 100 to the book balance, mapping at the address of the contract. The address expression return the address of the current contract instance. In programming, the return statement is used to exit a function and optionally return a value back to the caller of the function. When a function encounters a return statement, it stops executing and return control to the calling code. Last but not least, the first part of the code explaining about the purpose of the code to let the owner to restock the vending machine. Second, the code indicates the task to restock at any amount which only specific for the use of owner and not for the public. Hence, it will automatically direct to check the balance of the book after the process of restock has been done. For the last transaction, the first part of the code explaining the purpose of the code to let anyone purchase the book from the vending machine. Secondly, it is indicate the function to take the input, for example, at how many amount of how many units to be purchased. Thirdly, the code requires indicate the condition to allow the function purchase to be proceed, which for every purchase, it is need at least 2 Ethereum per book. In the same code, it stated that if not enough Ethereum to be used to purchase the book, the process of purchasing will be failed. Lastly, the code is to show the balance amount of the book after the purchase process.
Thank you so much, Batik, for the thorough explanation. Now, for my part, I'll be demonstrating on how to extract the smart contract and also how to use the smart contract. Okay, now that we have the complete code, let's paste it into Remix Ethereum. The next part that you should do is to compile by using the compiler. So you can see the function on the left side. You can click on it to compile the vending machine. And when it's compiled, the next step that we should do is to deploy the smart contract. Now look again on the left side and you'll find the deploy and run transaction functions. But before we deploy, we need to make sure the two things, which is the environment is set to Remix VM London and the value is set to ETH, which is Ethereum. And after setting those, we are good to go. Now, if you can see here, the smart contract is created and you'll see all those cool functions that Basit explained earlier just now. Okay, now let's dive into how to use this smart contract. For an easier understanding, I've created a situation. Now let's check on situation 1, which Aziz, the university student, has 4 Ethereum in his wallet and wants to buy 2 books from the vending machine. Now remember that the vending machine has a total stock of 100 and each book costs 2 Ethereum. So the first thing that we should do is to set our wallet to 4 ETH, which is 4 Ethereum. Then after that, we should type in 2 in the purchase section. And look at that, the vending machine balance is now 4 Ethereum, showing Aziz purchases. In this smart contract, we can also keep an eye on the book balance, which is the total purchase from the students, and the vending machine balance, which is the balance of book in the vending machine. As you can see here, the stock has decreased to 98 books from 100 books. By that, you can see that by using a smart contract, it really helps Aziz in terms of verifying his payments and confirm that he has a sufficient fund. It would then execute the necessary actions, such as deducting 4 Ethereum from Aziz's wallet and updating the vending machine's inventory by reducing the availability of quantity in the purchase book by 2. Now that we get the idea of smart contract from purchaser perspective, next I'll be explaining in details on the perspective of the owner in restocking the books. As you can see here, in situation 2, Mail, the owner of the vending machine, plans to add 6 more books to refill his stock. So the first thing that we should do is to make sure to deploy the contract first. After that, in the restock section, just type in 6. And remember, just like when Aziz made a purchase just now, Mail can also check out the functions, including the book balance in the vending machines, which would increase the number up to 103 after restocking. And with that, we can see here that by leveraging a smart contract for restocking, Mail, the owner of the vending machine, can really simplify the process by reducing the manual effort and to ensure an accurate record keeping. The automation provided by the smart contract could also enhance the efficiency and transparency, enabling Mail to maintain a well-stocked vending machine and cater to the reading needs of its customers more effectively. And that's all from my part. I'll pass this presentation to Hana Nabila.
Thank you, Alisa. Next, let's move on to the last part of our presentation, which is the conclusion. In a nutshell, the application of blockchain technology and smart contracts into vending machines presents a promising future opportunity. It is true that it is still in its infancy, but this innovative approach has the potential to revolutionize the distribution of educational resources, especially books. By utilizing the transparent security of blockchain, these vending machines may facilitate secure transactions, ensure accountability, and provide microtransactions for educational resources. Smart contract integration into the vending machine enables established rules and conditions, assuring proper funding distribution and simplifying transactions. Although the challenges such as cost, user adoption, operational and technological challenges need to be addressed, it can be said that the future of the book vending machines with blockchain technology is promising and has been receiving more and more demand. As we are living in a fast-paced world and that the technology is continuing to develop, we may anticipate more innovation in this area that could result in improved access to learning resources and improved financial management for students, in which the students are hoped to be more knowledgeable about the use of blockchain and digital currency in everyday life. Next, let's focus on the future expectation. There are three main future expectations related to this topic that I would like to present, which are increased accessibility in remote area, integration with digital platforms, and lastly, collaborative learning network. We hope that in future, vending machine with blockchain technology and smart contract could provide accessibility to educational resources, especially in remote areas where the people will no longer have to put full reliance in bookstores and libraries. Next, integration with digital platforms provides students to have access to both physical copies and soft copies of the book through the book vending machine. And lastly, it is hoped that the book vending machine could provide a collaborative learning networks. Blockchain technology allows the book vending machine to collect the reading data, and it can be used to tailor a personalized book recommendation. It is hoped that we could foster the love of reading to the students by allowing them to explore a range of subjects that are in line with their interests. I think that is all for our presentation. Thank you very much.